everybody! Hello, hi! Whoa, why is my voice so I don't know. But hello, hi! I know why. Actually, I was up late doing records last night. Hello, hi! I'm Cerenity, your favorite girly pop, buddy girl historian of the New Generation 5 AAA Club. But we're not in the AAA Club today. No, Serenos. We are in History Club. Yeah! Yay! Hi! I hope you guys are having a wonderful night and enjoyed all the events so far. Brought to you by the School Daze event, like the spelling bee. Crazy stuff. Stop talking about my second puberty. What the fuck, man? What the fuck? I'm your club leader. You can't bully me like that. What the hell? You know, bullying is what gets the results of so many of the bad things that happen in FNAF. Do you want that to happen to you? Let the lesson be learned. Also, Wes, happy 15th month. 15 months. Oh my god. I'm not gonna lie, you guys. I've spent like the past hot minute reworking my history notes to make sure. Ah, meep! Happy 13 months. Meep. Reworking my notes because Serenity Cosmica, I take history really seriously. It is my strong suit. I am what I like to call a historian of a lot of unimportant things. Mainly Tumblr history, but it often revolves around, like, I don't know, anything online. Like we could learn about the great Tumblr scams of 14, or all those insane Elsa edits, or like those really shitty, like, chatbot games from the early iPhone days, like Talking Angela. Remember her? But nah, I thought we should have a strong suit, a strong start to our first and possibly last history club. So, oh, you're a fan of history? Name every historical event. The Big Bang. The Big Meteor. Oh, shit, wait, the music's not playing. Wait, where's... Oh, Nutter Butters. Well... Why? Actually, wait, wait. I see, hold on, wait. Bam. Now we should... What? There we go. Okay, now we won't be in silence anymore. I thought it'd be great to give us a good history lesson. And what's a better history lesson than something really relevant right now? I don't know if you guys are big horror fans, but I am, and something really fun going on is Halloween Horror Nights over at Universal. And by golly gosh darn, you would never guess what one of the haunted attractions is gonna be. That's right, Terrifier the Clown! Whoa, crazy, right? Also, Five Nights at Freddy's is gonna be there. So I think it'd be a good time to really brush up on your skills of all of the FNAF lore. But just of the OG games. Also, I have a shit ton of disclaimers to give. Because I know many FNAF historians and theorists out there are gonna disagree with the timeline that I subscribe to. And that's fine, baby, because history is just the stories that are told to the next generation, Sometimes it's gonna change, but also you're wrong and I'm right. Moving on. So, some important notes. I'm not talking about the fucking movie, alright? I ain't talking about... I love the movie. Love the movie so much we ain't talking about the movie today. We ain't talking about it, alright? Because, oh my god, AJ, thank you. Thank you for the 10 gifted. Thank you so much. If you got a gifted, make sure to say thanks. Oh my god, first day of the club and you guys already brought presents. You're too sweet. You're too sweet. Thank you. I'm gonna lower alerts though, because they will distract me. And your girl doesn't want to get too distracted because we are on a time crunch. Anyway, okay. Not paying attention to the movies, because they're doing their own thing. They just kind of swap Henry, Emily, and Willie A's kids' stories around. They're doing their own thing. Vanessa's there. They're doing their own thing. They're making their own lore. That's not what we're talking about today. Time crunch? Well, yeah, guys. Club can only last so long. I can't spend the next 5 hours talking to you about FNAF lore. I can't do that to you. I couldn't do that to you. Genuinely, I could not. Even though that kind of sounds like a great day to me, I can't do that to you. I cannot do that to you. I also, guys, I'm not talking about the Goosebumps books. I ain't talking about what is it, like Silver Eyes, Tales from the Pizzaplex, Fazbear Frights. Yes, they bring important context to the lore. They bring very important context to the lore. But also, that shit gets convoluted really fast. And then, if I start talking about Charlie in the games, and then I'm talking about Charlie from the books, which Charlie? And then I'm like, oh yeah, also Henry Emily had a son in the books, but it's never mentioned in the game. So we're not bringing them up. I might bring up some stuff just casually from the books, but don't worry about it. Really, that's not our main focus. The books really are just to kind of give more context that the games weren't able to. Don't worry about it. Just don't worry about it. Don't worry about it, because you know what? You know what? I'm also here to give you more context, okay? That was on my plan. Did you get his autograph? Did you ask him about FNAF secrets? Did you? Wait, did you ask Mr. Freddy Fazbear, Matthew Patthew about the FNAF secrets? I want to know the FNAF secrets. I want to know. I bet he knows what was in that box. We're not talking about the box today. Also, we're not talking about the box, dude. I'm talking mainly about the story, the tale of Five Nights at Freddy's. I'm trying to remember. Oh yeah, one more thing. We're not talking about the newer games from the VR Help Wanted to The Secret of the Mimic. They're too new. Again, they're setting up their own continuous lore, and it's really not important to the main story of the original Five Nights at Freddy's. It's really not. Like, I think the only important context, and it never gets fucking brought up, at least not yet, because the games are also still coming out. They're still actively developing that story right before our very eyes. So, you know, the only important thing to give context for the tale of Five Nights at Freddy's we will be getting today is the Secret of the Mimic. It takes place in 1979, and Fazbear Entertainment starts commissioning Murray's Costume Company for their animatronic tech, and Edwin, he made the mimic. It was really difficult to put together. Is the lead engineer of the animatronics that we see in fucking, what is it? It's well, you know what? No, actually, that gets more convoluted. So you know what? We could even brush that off. But he kind of is the one who's making the designs for the animatronics. Besides William Afton and Henry Emily, he's just kind of an outsourced commission guy. But he's doing his own thing. He has a dead kid and a dead wife, and you know that kind of does transition us to the most important moral that Five Nights at Freddy's can give us, which is don't become a father. If you become a dad, everyone you love will die in an awful way, and all paths of fatherhood lead to the same destination of robot furry death. Because it happened to Henry Emily, it happens to William Afton, and it happens to our good boy Edwin. So you know. I'm not wrong! Me and Fatal just choose not to have kids. You won't suffer in the FNAF universe if you just don't have kids, dude. Alright. I also want to add this timeline that I've subscribed to for the past, I don't know, 2 years now. Because it just makes the most sense story-wise. Does originate from Wendigoon. The timeline that he kind of made up because it just tells the most compelling story. It does. It makes a better story than going after the kind of lore, theory-based story that we have from MatPat. Or that more popularized one. I go with the one that makes for a better, more compelling story of oh wow, this is sad. Instead of the, what the fuck is happening? So yeah. That's weird. That means the wave is better for Wendigoon, they go, fuck yeah! I'm in the right fucking crowd, baby! Alright, let me pull up my, let me grab my, my chalkboard real fast. Bam. Here's our timeline written out just of important dates of when things happen. I didn't put any approximate dates because, like, okay, I'm gonna be so for real. It's like nothing happens and then everything happens all at once. So here's our timeline. We start in the 70s and then we end. So we end in 2023. We end, well, kind of. We ended hell, and I guess hell is timeless. And now, but for the most part, we end in hell. Or no, in 2023, which is really funny because that was just a couple of years ago. I'll get to it when we get to when it's 2023 because it's funny. But yeah, so the order of events, video game wise, that we're looking at is FNAF 4, FNAF 2, FNAF 1, FNAF 5, Sister Location, FNAF 3, FNAF 6, FNAF 7. That's it. That's all we're looking at today, baby. And guys, I have 11 pages of notes from this. Chica! Yeah, no, we love him. Which one? Okay, pop quiz. Name all of the 4 main Five Nights at Freddy's animatronic characters. Go! What are their names? Fredgerald? Bally? Faster Than Metal? And Chonk. That's their names. Cerenity teaching a class of kids how to count. Alright, imagine 5 Nights at Freddy's. That's already a number. I've saved the education of so many children. You're welcome. You're welcome. Chica Freddy, Bonnie, Foxy, and Golden Freddy. Ooh! We got an extra answer! I'm already having so much fun. Okay, anyway. Let's just jump into this, baby. You know, cause oh wait, I wrote a really funny pun. I do want to say this. I'm not covering the over 100 videos that Game Theory made about this, about all of FNAF. We're just kind of disregard. But, you know, we do gotta give props to MatPat, because he did give us a lot of fucking info that not a lot of people want to go through. Like that fucking... like the books. Like the books. So, you know, we gotta give reps where reps are due. Thank you, MatPat. May you rest in peace. We miss you. But yeah, this version makes for a better story overall. And you know what they say about history? It's his story. And this story we're gonna be telling today is about 2 bros. Just the bestest of friends. Just 2 guys. Just 2 guys being guys. Just 2 guys being pals. History will say they were partners. Business partners, of course. Yeah, just partners. Partners who had the dream of making children's entertainment. You know, they were like, man, it's like 1970, whatever. I don't know when animatronics started getting popular because I was not alive. But hold on, wait. I'm going to pull a number out of my ass and somebody Google it. Tell me if I'm right. 1974 is when animatronic restaurants started getting popular. I hope. Anyway, around some point, these guys met in engineering school. 2 guys chilling in a hot tub, 5 feet apart because they kill each other. Oh no! 1976? I was fucking close. I was so close, dude. I was so close. I'm hyped. Okay. We take those. Anyway, they meet in engineering school, and they're like, oh wait, I got dolls for this. I got dolls just for this occasion. They meet, and it's like, hello, I'm William Afton. Hi. And then he's like,
oh, hi there. I'm Henry Emily. I really like making robots and children's entertainment and cooking pizza.
And then Willie Raft is like,
Oh yeah? Or
no,
he's like, oh, well, I love making robots too. Like, it's a passion of mine. We could be passionate together.
And so they decided to be passionate together. They decided to be passionate together. And they started business. They started a really humble little children's entertainment establishment called Fredbear's Diner. It's really sweet. It's just a tiny little thing, you know? They had just like 2 animatronics, nothing crazy, nothing special. Chocolate! Happy 15 months! Thank you! Nothing crazy. They only had two animatronics too. Like, you know, if you were just a normal average person at around 1976 when these restaurants started getting popular, you probably would have been like, this ain't no Chuck E. Cheese. This ain't no Puppy's Pizza World. I don't know any other establishments like this. This ain't no Puppy's Pizza World. What's so special about Fredbear's Diner? Well, you sweet summer child, let me tell you. Imagine you're sitting with your kid, nomming on some mid-pizza, and you're like, yeah, this is alright. And then you look up at the stage and you see this yellow bear and yellow rabbit playing a banjo, singing a song, and it's oddly very passionate. And then, you know, the song ends, you're like, okay, that was cool. And then all of a sudden, Mr. Fredbear, the yellow bear that was just singing on stage, comes down off the stage walking like a man and just comes up to you and your kid and starts breakdancing. Whoa, what? How did he do that? Well, let me tell you, it's with their handy-dandy spring lock technology made by Mr. Willie A himself. That's Willie in Afton. But he's Willie A because we like him right now. And like, by the way, these spring locks, they're so safe, dude. They're so safe. Trust me. They're like so safe. Nothing ever bad will ever happen to anybody with these spring lock suits, ever. Nothing, how could anything bad happen? Yeah, if they get a little bit of water on them, they act up, but nothing bad ever is gonna happen. Nothing ever is gonna be bad with these spring lock suits. They're just real, but they are so innovative. They're so innovative. Willie A, when he was at engineering school, he was like, I have a vision, and that's to make fursuits crazy, dog. So the way that they work is essentially like the exoskeleton, the robot skeleton inside of it can like shift to the side or like, you know, just get out of the way with a turn of a knob, and then, you know, a worker can just wiggle their own way down into the suit without having to take the exoskeleton out or without having to put on a whole mascot costume while the robot is up performing. So, innovation! Fazbear's was known for it. They dazzled people with just their lifelike robots, because also horrifying, but cool. Horrifying and cool, dude. And like, it's thanks to this insane tech that Fazbear's was able to grow more and more, letting these two guys, who are definitely not boyfriends, I swear they aren't, but like, okay, maybe they did share like a passionate night before William met his wife, Clara, who we will never talk about again after this point. And you know, he went on to have 3 kids of Michael, Elizabeth, and Evan, leaving Henry to stew in his bittersweet heartache as he saw the man that he loved, so happy to start a new chapter of his life as a father. And as he stands watching the man that he shared one or many passionate nights with late in the workshop, he smiles as he is happy for them. But still, his heart stings. That is until, you know, he doesn't stay lonely for long. We don't know how he acquired this child. We don't ask about his wife. We don't ask about Henry Emily's wife. We don't ask about Miss Emily, whoever she may be, wherever she is out there. We don't ask about her. But he did have a sweet baby girl who he loved so much. Her name's Charlotte. He's such a fucking a girl dad, dude. He's such a girl dad. He's like, oh, I love my daughter. I love my daughter more than anything in this world. And with the love of his daughter, he's able to heal that heartache that he felt when he watched his best friend and business partner get married. What sort of history is this? Accurate. Oh god. Where did it go? Accurate. Anyway, William Afton Emprick? Yeah, pregnant with ideas. Alright, we're done with the 70s. We're out of the 70s now. We are now into the 80s. Oh god, there we are. Sorry. We're in the 80s now, baby. So, you know, picture yourself. We're in the 80s. Rubik's Cubes just got their global debut, and Fazbear has been making a really big boom. Like, so big where Willie A and Henry are starting to be like, hey, should we expand? You know, this little restaurant's nice and all, but we're kinda really raking in the cash, you know? We're really doing well. And then Willie is like, hey, oh wait, I gotta get the dolls. I gotta start moving the dolls again. They're talking. I forgot. He's like, hey,
hey, Henry, babe, I really like making animatronics.
And then Henry's like,
oh my god, that's so cool, cause like, you know, since I used to be your bear, I like to be a business for, you know, to continue to have like bears in it. You know, what if instead of changing the name from Fredbear, we change it to like Fazbear, cause you know it's the 80s and we're cool now. And you know, since we both went to engineering school, I know we can both make robots, but it might be nice since you really want to make more robots, Henry or Willie Afton, you beautiful man. What? How about I handle more of the business side of Fazbear Entertainment? Ooh, what if we called it that?
Oh yeah, I like that name.
Yeah. So I'll handle the business side. You make the animatronics, and also we'll hire this other guy, but we'll never talk about him ever again.
Hell yeah, dude, I love it.
Do you have any ideas that you want to really pursue?
You know, I have this idea with a clown-themed restaurant. I think it could be really cool, you know, like having like a clown baby.
Oh, okay, I'm following.
Yeah. Just, you know, and hey, we can even have like Freddy Fazbear in there. And you know, Freddy Fazbear, he's kind of lonely.
Yeah, he is lonely. He should have, you know, I know we already have Fredbear and Spring Bonnie, but what if we gave them like a new revamped look?
Oh yeah, I love it.
Yeah, new revamped. We'll rename him too. Fredbear? Nah, Freddy.
Oh yeah, cause we're the 80s, and we're cool now.
Yeah, we're cool now. And Bonnie stays Bonnie, we'll just lose the spring.
Yeah, cause like he's not determined by one season anymore. He's just Bonnie.
And you know, I thought about poaching that one restaurant, Chica's Party Taco World, where I didn't even pay attention. Let's steal the chicken.
Oh my god, yeah. And you know what?
Pirate Fox. Brilliant. I love your brain. You're beautiful. I think about you every night. You know, is there like any other ideas that you might have? I just, you know, it could be really cool if like I don't know, what if for some reason Freddy and Bonnie got into a
canonical relationship by the year 2035. I'm not joking. They are in a relationship in Security Reach. Ain't that awesome?
Anyway, wouldn't it be cool if we like did that? You know, I think it could be really cool.
Oh my god, Henry, I love the idea. I love you. That's so smart. And you know, maybe we can even start developing like merch. Wouldn't that be fun?
Fazbear merch. Oh, do you have ideas? Lay them on me, please.
Oh, I don't know. Well, I've been thinking for a while, and I thought maybe we could do something like, I don't know, what if we made like a plushie that has a camera inside of it and watches you while you sleep, and like some discs that produce noises that make you have nightmares and hallucinations, but not us, the adults, just kids.
What? What was that idea?
I said, what if we had some cool plushies and like Fazbear masks, you know, like Foxy and the Gang?
Oh, yeah, that is... that's a cool idea.
Okay.
Yeah. You know, that previous idea, I'm joking.
He was in fact not joking. So, we in the 80s, they start really expanding to the point where Willie is like, alright guys, let's start making some cool shit. And by cool shit, I mean questionable shit. We really focus now on FNAF 4, which takes place in the William Afton household. First game of the series, guys, FNAF 4, where we view the life of William Afton's sweetest, youngest, babiest boy, Evan, also known by the community as the crying child, because William Afton has taken it upon himself to traumatize his sweet baby boy. For reasons really unknown. Like, it's most likely because, you know, he's building these robots in his house. Even though he could afford a workshop, he decides, nah, in my basement's good enough, right? But he's like, oh shit, wait, my sweet children, they might get hurt. And like, the spring lock suits, they're so safe, by the way. The spring lock suit's so safe, but, you know, I don't know. Evan's 9. He could be rambunctious or something. Like, yeah, you know, he's got Michael, a teenager, and Elizabeth, an old enough daughter to be like, oh yeah, robots scary. But Evan, he's gotta really inflict some trauma on him. And so he does that by giving him a scary golden Freddy plushie that watches his every move. It watches his every move. It just looks at him and watches everywhere he goes. He has cameras in Evan's room and throughout all of the house to make sure none of the kids go in the basement. You don't want to go in the basement where the scary robots are. And he made a funny little disc that puts out noises to cause children to have hallucinations and see scary shit. Wonder what, you know, like the old sound you would hear when you would turn on a TV box and it would make that sound, but then you stop hearing that sound like as you grow? Yeah, he essentially took that sound and made it evil. He injected evil juice into it and then started traumatizing his kid with it. So FNAF, we are constantly riddled with nightmares about Freddy Fazbear and Co. We have to play so many days crying and sobbing and looking around and being like, oh my god, the scary foxy head is gonna kill me. Oh my god, I can hear Big Chica breathing in my door. Meanwhile, William's like, like it's a really good prank. He's like, my kid's traumatized. I can't even take him to work without having a mental breakdown, even though this is my main place of business. And because I'm a co-founder, all of our house is gonna be Five Nights at Freddy's themed. But no, this isn't fucked up to do at all to my sweet baby boy who I love. And for like an extra fun little thing for Evan, his brother's like, oh boy, you know, he's so scared of Five Nights at Freddy's. I mean, Freddy Fazbear. You know, it would be a really good idea as like a good thing to do as a brother. What if I put on a Foxy mask and just constantly jump scare his ass? That's hilarious, dude. And like William Afton, he's like, that's my boy. That's my son, Michael. My sweet son, Michael, who I love right now. And at this current time of 1983, we'll never stop loving. So yeah, you know, It's like Evan's living Evan is in hell. He is living his own personal hell for his entire life up until 9 years old. And then, as we play through Five Nights at Freddy's 4, we are playing up to his birthday. Oh boy! Where do you think... Okay, pop quiz! Where do you think... Knowing that William Afton, his father, has been psychologically torturing his son, do they host his birthday party? Where could you imagine? They host a sweet son's birthday party. If you answered Freddy Fazbear's Pizzeria, you're correct! Cause what a good idea! What could go wrong? He's just traumatized. He just doesn't want to be there. It's just every time he's in that restaurant and establishment, he hides under the tables, shaking and crying, having a mental breakdown each time, a total meltdown to the point where he has to be removed from the premise. His poor cheeks stained from constant tears. But maybe it's fine. Maybe it's okay. Maybe it's alright. Cause Evan's brother, Michael, the one who's always looking out for him, he's there with his friends. I don't know why his parents allowed him to invite his friends to his brother's party, to a children's play place. But what? Alright, whatever floats your boat, I guess. And, Michael decides, oh, you know what, you guys? I'm gonna change the trajectory of everyone's life with one funny prank. And that one funny prank is...
Was that the bite of 87?
Oh my gosh, So I am muted. Let me repeat. First off, can we all have a round of applause for Mr. Mark E. Plyer and his guest appearance at our first and possibly last history club meeting? Thank you. Second, what if I just continued the rest of the stream fucking muted? That'd be hilarious. Second, that was actually the bite of 83, not the bite of 87. He got it wrong, and that's okay, because if you remember in our current timeline, we're only in the year of 1987. Completely wrong. Not everyone's gonna get it right. That's why he was just a guest. Got him out of here, had to send him away. Took him out back old Yeller style. Anyway, so, pretty funny prank though, right guys? Pretty funny prank. Nothing's funnier than, squishing your brother's head like a rotten watermelon. Nothing's funnier than that. But you know what's even funnier? Evan didn't die right away. He had like 2 days of in-house hospice where he's just slowly dying in his bed. But what sucks is he didn't have a peaceful coma. He didn't have a peaceful coma at all because they brought him back home for in-house hospice because the doctors were like, dude, his head got squished like a rotten watermelon. There's no frontal lobe for there to be squished because he's 9 and his squishy little brain wasn't even done. It wasn't even done cooking in there. It was nowhere near done. So, say your goodbyes, let him be comfy, and just, be with him to have peace. And I'm sure, the doctor's looking down and he's like, I'm sure your son is very peaceful in his coma right now. Little did he know he was fighting for his fucking life in that coma, dude. He was fighting for his fucking life and he lost. He was fighting because Nightmare Fredbear became a thing. And now Freddy Fazbear was even more scarier. And he just kept coming after him. And poor little Evan was in tears till he died. And as he died, as he drifted off into the ether, he could hear his brother Michael be like, I'm so sorry. When I thought I was gonna change the trajectory of everyone's life, I don't know what that was gonna be, but not this. And then he's escorted out of the room. And then it's just Willie A to his youngest, sweetest baby boy son that he's been torturing for like 9 years straight. And he's like,
My sweet baby boy. My sweet baby boy. Don't worry. I'll put you back together again. I'll do it. No matter what it takes. I'll fix you. And I'll fix this.
And you know, he definitely said that as a way of coping. He said that a way of being like, oh my god, my son's dead. My dead son. Dead son. Dead son. He died. I can fix this. But then something weird happened. Something spooky. Something strange. But you know, let's just take a quick pause. Let's just take a quick pause before we get into that something spooky, something strange. Cause we gotta talk about ghosts. We gotta talk about ghosts real fast. We gotta do a quick ghost tangent. We gotta talk about ghosts. So, ghosts are really important in this game. Now, the books give more context, and they try to kind of science the ghosts a bit. Oh my god, welcome in, readers! Welcome in! Hello, hi! I'm Cerenity. I'm teaching you about FNAF history. Hello! I hope you're having a wonderful day, night, time zone. Woo! We are currently 1983. Evan, crying child, just died. Nice to meet you too. Hope you're having a good stream. Oh my god, no worries! Oh my god, first rate, thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I hope you had a wonderful stream. I hope it was a lot of fun. Anyway, ghosts are really important. The books try to science the ghosts. Again, we ain't talking about no books. We ain't talking about the book science. Nah. It's just ghosts, baby. It's just ghosts. But the important thing for you to know is these animatronics no longer just run on exoskeletons and minimum wage workers. No. Guys, we're going eco-friendly. We're going green. Exoskeletons and the ghost children. Ghost power robots. Let's go. You got a dead kid? Shove them in a robot. Now they're a robot kid. Do they remember you? I don't know. I'm not that ghost kid. I can't say what they feel or see. I just know that this happened. But you know, it is important that once your dead body interacts, like, you gotta be kind of like freshly dead too. I don't really know the shelf life of corpse, ghost, and robot for it to combine to be possessed ghost robot. But the important thing is, you die in or next to you become the robot. It's like Shinji getting the robot, but worse. So you know what was interesting was Evan died by robot. His head got squished like a rotten watermelon. It squunched. So you know, that's pretty interesting. You know, Willie A is like also extremely depressed, mind you. He's cracking because he's like, my son's dead. My son killed my son. My one son killed my other son. I can't even look at Michael anymore. That's no longer my son. I can't even breathe the same air he breathes. And I'm starting a downward spiral. And you know, one day he's roaming the halls of Freddy Fazbear, and then he looks over at Golden Freddy. And Golden Freddy's just kind of man standing and looking at him back. But he has the same eyes as his son. And then Willie A, he has a moment where he's like,
My boy.
Why am I getting big? No, just what the hello? There we go.
My boy, is he a bear now? But not like a bear like Henry Emily, who's a bear with strong arms. No. He's like a bear. The one thing I wanted him to stay away from. He is now. He's alive, kind of. Did I discover immortality? What's the procedure we do with this?
But he proceeded to tell no one. So now Willie, he's got kind of a goal. He's like, mayhaps I do science and start experimenting. And then he remembers, flashback. Hey, do you guys remember? Alright, pop quiz, baby, pop quiz. Because remember, I told you to take notes. What was the theme of the robots that William really wanted to make? And he was talking to Henry, and he was like,
Oh yeah, this is Henry's voice. Yeah, I think that's a really good idea. I'm down for it.
What was the theme? You only get one answer. That's right! Hong Kong, clowns! He wanted to make clown robots. What could go wrong with that? What could go wrong with the clown robots? He started making those clown robots. He already was starting the project of the clown robots because he's like, clowns, I gotta do it, man. Everyone loves clowns. Who doesn't love clowns? I don't know when the book It came out, but you know, he has some time. He had some time before that TV movie, and then the movie later on. He had time. So he's like, yeah, clowns. Everyone loves them. Nothing can go wrong here. And you know, he was like, wait, but if children can power the robot, what if I made the clowns, you know, kill kids? It can't be that bad. It's not that bad. I swear. He's joking. Except he's not joking. And instead, he added a lot of really interesting design choices. You know, just some little tweaks like sensors in their eyes to count how many kids are in the room. But not for anything nefarious. No. It's just so the robot's never in a room without like any kids in there to entertain. Cause you wouldn't want a robot just standing in a room singing by themselves. That'd be weird. And you know, he added like some audio boxes to maybe lure kids away from their family, and like the ability to make an ice cream tree. Oh, no, it's not too bad. That's good for kids. You know, what's better than a sweet little robot coming up to you and being like, honk, here's some ice cream. Who wouldn't want that? And, you know, a claw in their tummy to grab a child and smush them inside the robot bits, you know. Ignore that last part. But he made the funny clown robots. And he's like, okay, I gotta start testing my hypothesis of dying in robot immortality. Maybe I can use this to bring back my sweet baby boy Evan. Mayhaps. Who knows? You know, he's just being a little silly. That's why he chose clowns, so he could be extra silly about it. So he's like, okay, yeah, you know what? And then he was like, oh, this one theme of a clown. It was named Circus Baby. Yeah, Circus Baby. She's gonna be my Freddy Fazbear. She's gonna be the main girl, and I'm gonna make sure Circus Baby is the one who, like, you know, we test this with. It could be really any of them, but like he really wanted it to be Circus Baby, so he put all the bips and bobs in her, right? Well, at the same time, remember, he had 3 kids. Do you remember his second kid, the middle child? Pop quiz. What was her name? Sorry. I looked over. Evangelion is really good. Evangelion kind of goes crazy. Shit, that's his name in Golden Freddy now, ain't it? Playing D&D right now. Wish me luck. Good luck. Her name was Elizabeth. Sweet little Elizabeth. And she didn't really have too much. She was the middle child, you know, and she was like, oh, but my daddy made this robot for me because he loves me the most. Because also Evan is dead, so I don't have a little wimp brother to worry about. And daddy made this robot to look like me. And then William Afton is like,
Oh my god, Elizabeth, stop. Elizabeth, you can't look at the robot. Elizabeth, you can't be near the robot. Elizabeth, you can't even think about Circus Baby anymore.
and she's like, but daddy, you made her for me. I like Circus Baby the most because Circus Baby looks like me, daddy. And like, also sometimes they're British, I don't know. Anyway, she would bother him a lot, and William Afton was just like, I already have a dead son. I can't have a dead daughter. I can't just keep having my kids die. That's not a good look. So he's like, all right, you're not allowed to be near them. However, because Circus Baby was designed with Elizabeth in mind, and because fucking William Afton's like, I gotta make this really big. I gotta make this a huge event, you know, I gotta really, like, bring in a bunch of people. What's a better source of publicity and PR than a dad, a grieving dad at that, a dad who's been hurt, saddened, who is now opening up a new establishment, still under Fazbear Co., where it's clown-themed, and the main clown is after his daughter. What's better than that, says William Afton. So he's like, okay, Elizabeth, you're coming with me to the grand opening of Circus Baby's, what the fuck was it called? Circus Baby's Pizza. I always want to call it Pizza Palace. It's just Circus Baby's Pizza World. Anyway, he's like,
Alright, Elizabeth, you're coming with me to Circus Baby's Pizza World, but you can't look at Circus Baby, okay? You're staying by my side the whole time.
and she's like, but daddy!
He's like, no.
And that's it. And then he's like,
Well, maybe you can look at her like once when I'm there, another time, another day, not right now.
and she's like, okay, daddy. Except she had her fingers crossed behind her back because the moment William Afton was like, I don't know, talking to like some newspaper people or the news, it's like it's before 1987. Yeah, they had news. They had news channels back then. So yeah, he's doing some news interviews. I'm such a good historian, you guys. He's doing some interviews, and it's so interesting because somehow Elizabeth gets away, and you know, he's like, where's my daughter? Oh no. And he's looking at the news people and he's like, oh yeah, you know, tonight for one night only, it's like the grand like pre-opening kind of, it's the PR opening, you know. But little did he know, on that one night only ticket, for one night only, you too can have your daughter, second surviving child, murdered by one of your own creations again. Yay! Elizabeth sneaks off and goes up to Circus Baby and then gets grabbed and smooshed in, and her corpse gets mangled and jangled and bobbled inside, and now she possesses Circus Baby. Honk honk. She died. And William Afton's there, and he sees like the last bit of it, and he's like, oh no. And then he looks over his shoulder and sees all the press people walking around, and then somebody's like,
Hey, can I go see that new robot that you were talking about, Circus Baby, that looks like your daughter? Also, where is that daughter?
and then William Afton's like,
Oh my god, you guys, do you smell that? Oh, it's gas! Everyone, evacuate the building now! There's a gas leak! Oh no!
and then like, William, but inside he's like, oh my fucking god, my daughter! So he's now lost. If he had a nickel for every time one of his children died by a robot he created, he would have 2 whole nickels, which, sure, isn't a lot. But maybe he could go 3 for 3, dog. He still has 1 kid left. Maybe he could go 3 for 3. Nah, but this does make William crack. Like, on now. The Willie A that we once knew is now fully lost it. Because his two children that he actually loves, remember, he no longer loves Michael anymore. Michael was dead to him the moment Evan died. So, the two kids he loves, they're gone. They're gone. Well, they're not gone. They're robots, though. And how do you connect to a robot? You can't talk about sports with a robot. All they know is sing, dance, and pizza. So he's like, my favorite children are gone. And it's my fault. But also, the science works. And I can make children immortal in robots. But science does have its limits because I can't connect to my children anymore. Also, fuck you, non-believers of ghosts. They're in the robots now. Take that, science. So now he's like, okay. He's losing it. And he's spiraling. Now, show of hands. Has anyone ever lived in a small town before? Has anyone ever lived? Has anyone ever had the pleasures and displeasures of living in a really small town? Mr. Fazbear, please, it's important. Yeah, alright. I'm seeing some hands. Nah? You've never had the displeasure of living in a small town? You lucky scoundrel. Let me tell you, living in a small town is kind of rough, because, everyone knows each other. People talk a lot. And remember. Back in, early 1970, mid-1970, all the way up to, right now, Freddy Fazbear, started expanding a lot, but started really small, started really humble. It's just a quaint little thing. And now this small town's like, hey, so that was weird the other night, right? William Afton's daughter, what happened to her? Where'd she go? I didn't see her go home with her dad, and then there's a gas leak, and what's going on with that big pizza place that they were gonna open up? That's weird. What's up with Fazbear? What's up with the Fazbear boys? What's up with those two boys who are definitely not lovers? What's going on there? And so, the one thing though that Fazbear Entertainment has that makes it more powerful than any small town rumor can be that could shut down a company like this was that they got so big that they're essentially like a modern day Disney. So apply modern day Disney power to back in the mid 80s. And that's insane. That's like almost a monopoly at that point. But they had the money to hire the most insane legal team and most insane PR team, which is why Fazbear Entertainment stays around until way past the 2000s, till way past 2023. It just sticks and it never ends, baby, because they just rake in that money. Because everyone's like, I like the funny bear that sings, man. They're sitting on their chair and they're like, yep, I like that funny bear a lot. So they got the most insane power, the most insane PR. And so, William Afton, being a co-founder, he's like, hey, PR team, say it was a gas leak. Just say it was a gas leak. Put it in the newspapers. Tell the newspapers right now, gas leak. And they're like, yes, sir. So, they start spreading around. It's like, oh, baby Circus Baby Pizza World closed down because you never believe it. There was a gas leak before it opened. It was so dangerous. Imagine you're making pizza with those kids around and all those stone ovens. Real shame. It looked really poppin', but better a place closed down that looks poppin', or else you're gonna be poppin' like a firework because of the gas explosion. Because there was a gas leak. But here's the thing, though. Willy Boy was not the only one in charge of Fazbear, remember? Remember his summer love? His co-founder? His bear? The bear in Fazbear? That's right, Henry Emily. And Henry's like, he could see things haven't been good for his business partner, his business partner, and you know, Henry Emily, he calls William Afton over one day because he's like, hey, you know, it's important. And so Henry's like,
Hey babe, William, are you good? You okay?
and then William, he's like,
Ah, Henry. It's been so long since we spoke.
and then Henry is like,
What do you mean? We talk every... You know what, never mind. Listen, I was really down for your clown pizza place, you know, but, you know, I just... Oh, fuck.
hold on, wait.
You know, I just, I heard from John in accounting. You told our PR team to write to the press that you had to shut down the circus pizza place because there was a gas leak, but we had just passed our inspections. It doesn't make any sense. And
And then William, he interrupts Henry before he could finish, staring at him with hollow eyes. He goes,
Well, clearly whoever they sent to inspect the establishment did not inspect thoroughly enough. If you had been there last night, instead of, God, what did you tell me? Spending quality time with your daughter? You would have agreed with me. I could smell the gas strongly behind the stage where Circus Baby was meant to perform.
he scoffed, and then he turned away.
Did you really only want to meet up just to question me?
Henry shifted uncomfortably for a moment, taking a deep breath before he responded.
okay, listen. I saw the blueprints and design choices for the clown line, and I don't know, it didn't look safe for kids. It looked like you wanted to hurt them, and maybe even something worse. There were choices. There was things designed to kill them, William. And I haven't seen or heard of Elizabeth since the soft open last night, and I just...
And then William looks back at him, angrily. He cuts him off.
Oh, so you're accusing me of murdering my own daughter, is that right? Henry, I knew you were a fool. But to think you're stupid enough to believe the rumors those damn people in town have spread, that's just laughable.
Hey, I didn't mean it like that. I'm worried. I'm worried about you, and I'm worried for you, William.
Henry approaches him and places a hand on William's shoulder. William could remember a time when an embrace like this would soothe his anxieties away, and maybe even for a brief moment it did. Until Henry continued.
It's just you really haven't been the same since the incident with Evan.
William sharply cuts him off, glaring daggers at the soft man he once loved. The warmth Henry once gave him is now gone, replaced by the ice-cold judgment he's been facing from the rest of the town, the rest of the world. He pushes Henry away and shouts at him.
Don't you dare speak of my son's name. You have no idea the pains, the sorrows I've gone through. Don't pretend to be concerned with me. You're just as shallow as the rest of them.
Henry didn't respond. He looked up at William. He could no longer see the man he once loved, the man he chose to be his partner. He felt his heart shatter. He opened his mouth to say something, anything, as if that could maybe save something, salvage the relationship, salvage the man he once knew. But William continued.
What a wonderful partner you ended up being. You.
He was cut off.
Well, if that's how you feel, let's end this.
Henry blurted out. William, taken aback.
What?
William? You are no longer to be a fit employee here at Fazbear Entertainment. I'm letting you go. Your services as lead engineer and co-founder are no longer needed. You are no longer welcome on our properties, nor can you continue to use any of the Freddy & Co. likeness and IP for your future business endeavors. William? We're done. I'm done.
You can't do this. I was the one who built you up. You can't just toss me out.
It's my business. I can. And I did.
No. You need me, Henry. Who else will build?
I'll manage it myself. I can build robots easily. We met in engineering school, damn it. It's over. It's over, William. It's over.
As Henry walked away from him, he could only hear William shout,
You bastard! You've made a grave mistake. You'll regret this. So help me. You'll regret this.
Something like that. I don't know. We can only, guess what happened between them. But that kind of is what makes the most sense, right? So yeah, Henry kicks our good friend William Afton off the Fazbear team because he's a bit of a liability with, the 2 dead kids and everything. And, it's just like, but Henry starts thinking about that last thing William said, where he's like, I'll make sure you'll regret this. And he started thinking about, the blueprints to the circus baby lineup, and he's like, I'm a little scared, because remember, Henry's only got one thing in his life now, and that's his sweet, sweet baby girl, Charlotte, or Charlie for short. Absolute cinema. Also, BD does thank you. You clean and she can show what is it tell duty after you do enjoy yourself? Good question will be answered after the history lesson. But good question. Write that down in your notes. Write that down. Very important bring up for history. So, Henry's like, I mean, what could William child murderer Afton really do to get back at Henry, he thought. And he started getting real paranoid. So he's like, you know what? I can make robots. We met in engineering school. Yeah, I can't make anything crazy like William, but I can make some cool shit. Maybe raid. Hello. Wait. Was there a raid? Did I miss the raid while I was acting out the Yowie? Did I miss the raid while I was acting out the doomed Yowie? Hello, raiders! Sorry! You were so locked in. No, you're really into it. I'm sorry. Yowie history? The Yowie is really important. Because without the Yowie, we wouldn't have the breakup. But also, Mimi, I hope you had a really good stream. So anyway, Henry, we're talking about FNAF lore if you couldn't tell. Henry, yeah, why am I embarrassed? Henry's like, okay, I'm scared for my daughter, but I can't just lock her away like a Rapunzel. Can't do that, so you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna build a robot, because that's what anybody does in this fucking universe. You got a problem? Build a robot. That problem is gonna be made worse now. So he's like, okay, I'm gonna build a robot, and you know what? I'm gonna build, something that all kids would love. The most horrifying marionette puppet you'll ever see in your life. Everyone will love it, and surely my daughter Charlie will also love it and feel safe in its very thin, lanky arms. Almost tentacle-like. There's nothing more safe than that. He's like, okay, yeah. Jack in the Box puppet. Everyone loves Jack in the Boxes. Everyone loves marionettes. Everyone loves a good bald puppet. So he builds the puppet. He's like, your purpose, puppet? Protect my daughter. This whole puppet school. Everyone's like, oh yeah, the puppet is like a little security guard. No, just for his daughter. And you know, he made sure that she was never alone or in a dangerous situation. Cause like, yeah, especially when Henry wasn't able to keep a close enough eye on her because he was working, you know? So he made such a good guy, but alas, everyone has a weakness. Icarus's wax wings in the sun, Achilles in his heel, this puppet in one medium-sized box. So like some asshole kids, like this is actually like such a dick move on these kids' parts. They put a medium-sized box on top of the puppet's little home so he couldn't pop out. He could be like, surprise, I'm here to keep a child safe, hello. So they lock him away behind a medium-sized box is one weakness. And they lock Charlie out of somebody's birthday party. It's raining, by the way. It's raining. It's pouring. The whole town is snoring as this girl is about to get murdered. Cause they're just partying. They're like, hey, haha, yeah, your dad made this place, but fuck you. We're gonna party on without you, Nepo baby. So she has to watch them have this party outside for a while as the puppet's freaking out in the box. He's just like, he's rumbling there. He's like, trying to get out. He can't because medium-sized box. Too medium. Way too medium for him to get out. So he's fucking stuck in there. Charlie's like, oh man, I sure wish I could go have fun at a birthday party. She's left in the cold rain looking at all these kids have fun until she spots a really familiar man start to approach her. Somebody that, you know, she's learned to trust. Somebody who was almost like a second father to her, but was just her father's business partner, of course. And as they approach, she takes his hand as he's like,
Oh, hello, Charlie. It's been a minute. I have something so fun to show you.
and she's like, oh boy, hi William hi Papa William Afton. Can't wait to see what you got to show me. And she follows him away. But the puppet somehow gets the strength to move that medium box and dash outside into the rain, struggling as its robotics are crinkling and rusting and electricity is buzz, 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 flying everywhere as this robot is going against its other greatest weakness, a little bit of water. But it's too late. Charlie's corpse lays outside in the cold rain next to a garbage can of all things. William made his point and got his revenge against Henry for kicking him off the team, for rejecting him when he needed somebody close to him. So, if William can't have anyone close to him, Henry can't have anyone close to him, now can he? And the puppet, seeing their one mission, lay crumpled, lifeless, and cold, does the one thing it knows how to do, and goes up to the dead Charlie and hugs her. So, some notes to take, you guys. Charlie is the first kid that William kills on purpose. You know, somebody keep a death counter, by the way. Somebody, you know, hold on, I'll do it. Oh, you know what? I should do it in red chalk. Hold on. Oh, let me find some red chalk real fast. Let me find just some red chalk real quick. Perfect. Ah, shit. Dead kid total. That's an A. So we're at 1, 2, 3. But this third one was purposeful. The other two, accidents, negligible accidents. He Yeah, he was gonna kill a kid, but he didn't mean to kill that kid. But Charlie, oh, he meant that. Oh, he meant that. It's pretty fucked up. But you guys remember the rule? Not the first rule of don't become a dad, because if you become a dad, no matter what, everyone you love is going to be cursed to the demise of a furry robot death. No, not that rule. If you die with the robot, you become the robot. So now Charlie, she wakes up one day and she's like, what the fuck? So she's just a scary fuck-ass puppet owl. And also, Henry is like, oh my god, my daughter is dead! And so he goes into his depression arc. He is a broken man. He has nothing to go for. He shuts down everything. He's like, okay, you know what? I don't want to make pizza anymore. I don't want to make pizza anymore, you guys. I don't want to make pizza. I don't want to make robots. My daughter is dead and I have no purpose. So he's like, swag, cool, awesome, even. Everything is shut down. And he's like, you know what? Maybe I'm not meant for this. Until fast forward, baby! Now we're in 1987! Wow, what an important date for no reason. So, it's been a handful of years, who knows, of Henry's deep grief and depression arc. But he's like, you know what? I really like singing bears and making pizza, so maybe I'll give it another go. Maybe, maybe I'll just give it another go. He's like, maybe I'll make some cute robots, and maybe I'll make even the robots look a little cuter. We need a fresh rebrand. He's in his rebrand era, his reboot era. Which brings us into finally the second game, Five Nights at Freddy's 2. Wow! Second game in the timeline, and second game ever. Awesome! Yeah! Maybe this timeline will make sense. It doesn't. It's like, okay, alright. 1987. What could go wrong? That's right, baby. Five Nights at Freddy's 2 time. We get to play as a sassy little chap in this game named Germany? That's not right. That's a country. Jeremy Fitzgerald! Yay! Nothing's ever bad happened to Fitzgerald. We love that guy. We love him. He got hired for the night security job, for the grand reopening. Everything's going smoothly. What a fun guy. Nothing bad's ever happened to Fitzgerald. Nothing bad. No, not German. Oh, fuck. His name's German now. No, German Fitzgerald. Nothing bad's ever happened to German Fitzgerald. Nothing bad's ever happened to German Fitzgerald. So, he's like, yeah, I'm just working this cool job. Nothing crazy. And it's like, okay, so what? Cerenity, you may be asking yourself as you're still writing your notes, I hope. You're like, whatever. Why do we care? It's reopening, rebrand. Cool. Why is this even on the timeline? Why is this even a game? You might be asking yourself. Why is any of this even a game? Why do we even exist? Hey, baby, you're getting a little existential there, aren't ya? Let's reel it in, why not? So, why should we care? Because within the first week of this place opening, it shuts down. First 6 days. For 6 days, it's open. Immediately closed off again. You're like, huh? Why? What happened? Did silly old Henry, did he not stock up on enough party cups? Did they run out of pizza dough? Oh my gosh. Well, here's some things. There's context given in the game where we get our nightly phone calls from our supervisor as Jeremy Fitzgerald himself. And, first 3 nights smoothly, going nice. And then night 4, we hear something weird's going on. And you know, us as Germa Fitzgerald, we're like, huh. I couldn't think of any good Germa quotes. All I could think was, look at me. And he's like, huh, okay, alright, that's weird, alright. And then Germa Fitzgerald, you know, fighting off all these fucking robots too. He's just like, if I were an animatronic, I'd be a wolf. Cause I'm the coolest. Anyway. So then he's like, okay, weird. And then the next night, he gets a call from his supervisor and he's like, hey, so the place is on lockdown. No one can get in, no one can get out. Things are really weird now. And you know, Germa Fitzgerald's like, okay, that's weird, but alright, I just have to do my job. I gotta do my midnight to 6 a.m., a normal time period. And then, night 6, he gets a call from supervisor. Supervisor's like, what are you even doing? Did you not get the email? Was the email around? Did you not get the carrier pigeon? Did nobody tell you not to come in tonight? Nobody's supposed to come in tonight. Something weird happened. Something weird happened during this week. And you know, all that's important for you, Germa Fitzgerald, is you come in tomorrow morning. So I guess you gotta fucking do... Oh, God. Oh, my God. I'm just putting it together now. Germa Fitzgerald had to do a closing shift and an opening shift. His... Not to spoil... His final shift working at Freddy Fazbear's was really a closer to opener. That's cruel and unusual. But it gets worse anyway, but still, kind of fucked up. Like, actually, like, really, why didn't he leave? Dog. They really had him work from midnight till, because he had a birthday party in the morning, so I can't imagine the birthday party starting, I don't know, 8, 9 a.m.? And, you know, something happens in between there. But anyway. So he's like, huh, I'm not even supposed to come into work. He has a shift that morning. That's weird. But, like, all the Fazbear staff knows. They don't really know what's going on other than something happened. And, like, there might be an active investigation going on in the restaurant. Did we just open? What investigate? What's going on, you know? And then, you know, the place is on lockdown, and they get told by their supervisors, like, hey, no previous employees are allowed on the premises. And they're like, previous employees, we just opened. We're the only staff. You mean, like, from the old restaurant years ago? Why would anyone try? Nobody's rehired. That's weird. That's strange. That's peculiar. And then, you know, and then they hear a little bit more of, like, you know, somebody put on one of the spare suits in the back, one of the yellow ones, and, like, fucked around, and now all the animatronics are acting weird, and nothing's working right. That's so strange. That's so strange and odd. Nah, I'm just kidding. I'm joking you. William Afton sneaks into the establishment and starts murdering kids left and right like he's on a speed run, baby. Like, he puts on his old spring Bonnie suit, the one that he would wear with his ex. And he just starts slashing them and hacking them. He makes really fast work, too. Like, low-key, kind of impressive. Speed run that. Within a week. Like, and let's check in on William Afton's mentality over in 1987. Oh, would you look at that? It's fucked. Mentally, he's no longer the Willie A we loved. He is now straight up William Purple Guy Afton. He's the purple guy. He murders the kids. And then he's like, oh, I'm evil. He doesn't give a shit. He's in his full villain arc. And by villain arc, I mean, he's kind of like the bad guy in Monsters, Inc. You know, the speech where he's like, I'll traumatize 1,000 kids. Except instead of traumatize, it's murder. So he's like, I'll kill him. And it could be for like a number of reasons, or all of them even. Because it could be to get back at his ex, you know, take down his restaurant. They find dead kids in his restaurant, yeah, they're gonna shut that place down. It could be because he's like, you know, just nobody's allowed to have kids now. He lost 2 kids, technically 3, because he no longer, you know, Michael was also dead to him, just like in an emotional way. So he's like, you know, he lost all his kids and his family, doesn't talk to his wife anymore. You know they got divorced. But like, he doesn't talk about it. He just doesn't wear his wedding ring anymore. And like, everyone noticed. Everyone noticed when he stopped wearing his wedding ring. And we all thought like, oh my god, is he gonna get back with Henry? No. No. And again, small town. We all noticed. So yeah. Or, you know, he could have started killing them because he was like, I love science. I want to know ghost-powered robots. How do I make it work? He's very eco-friendly like that. We don't really know what was going on in his head. This is history, baby. It already happened. We just know what he did. We don't know the reason. But what we do know is within this first week of this place opening, 5 kids died real fast and had their bodies shoved into some old scrap robots they kept in the back. And okay, so like, conveniently, they had those OG, like those original Freddy, Bonnie, Chica, and Foxy, and Golden Freddy. Hey, wait, Golden Freddy? Isn't he already possessed? Isn't Golden Freddy, doesn't he already have like a ghost in him? So, alright, here's the thing. Golden Freddy now has 2 ghost kids in him. Which, can I just say, by the way, all the kids have names, but it's not really that important. Other than, like, you know, as like the main kids. All these other dead kids, they got names, not that important. Except the one that gets added also into Golden Freddy, her name's Cassidy. And she's pissed. And I would be too. Valid crash out. Because what do you mean I'm dead? I have a second chance at life. I have a roommate, a direct roommate, like no privacy. I'm just stuck here. I'm just stuck in the robot. What? And because Golden Freddy was a spring lock suit that didn't have the spring lock, he didn't have his exoskeleton turned back on, so he's just a mascot costume. These kids are stuck, can't move, can't do shit. All they gotta do is talk to each other. So then Cassie's like, how'd you get in here? And then Evan, bitch baby Evan's like, well, my brother. And she's like, shut up. I can't deal with you right now. So Cassidy seethes from this point on. From 1987 until the foreseeable future, just know, this bitch is pissed. This bitch is rightfully pissed off. Alright, so anyway. I gotta mention, okay, so, the thing about, like, the kids getting corpses, it's a little up in the air. You know, one side will tell you one thing, another side will tell you another. Like, oh no, William Afton shoved the corpses into the suits so that way they wouldn't find them. However, it's my history lesson, so I'm gonna say what I believe, and that's, what's her name? Charlie, the puppet. She was the one who put all the kids in there, which also accidentally let William get away with the crime. But we'll get more to that later. But in the mini games of like give presents, give life or whatever, because Charlie, she's a people pleaser. She's a fucking people pleaser even in death, and she's like, oh no, other kids are dead. Oh man, oh shit. How can I make their afterlife a little better? And at first she gives them a bunch of presents and they're just still dead. And she's like, shucks. Oh shit, wait, I forgot to add. We have now an extra 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 dead kids! Dead kid total! That's like 8. 8 kids dead. Anyway, you know, Charlie's like, how we make these kids feel better? And then she's like, oh, I know. Die in the robot, become the robot. That's the moral of the story. Shoves the kids into the robots, and now they're the robots. And she's like, yeah. And then the kids are like, I thought, is this what the afterlife is? Am I damned to be Freddy Fazbear for the rest of my life? So, you know, it might have backfired a little bit, but I don't know. Better than being dead. But yeah, so robots start acting funny. Oh, wait, let me just also go back to a different tangent. Yeah, William Afton does get arrested for his crimes, mind you. During this week of everything happening, he does get arrested. He does get arrested. However, he doesn't get convicted. Why? They couldn't find the kids' bodies, which I'm like, what do you mean you couldn't find? Did you not look hard enough? But yeah, couldn't find no evidence. So he gets out of jail. He's like, well,
I didn't do it.
he says with like a little smirky grin because he knows he got away with killing 5 kids. Tee-hee-hee-hee-hee. And a dog. He also killed a dog. That's like not mentioned too much, but he also did this to a dog, which is like extra fucked up. Like that's just like an asshole thing to do. Why the dog though? So he killed the dog because two reasons. One was still kind of like experimenting with how does ghost power work? Does ghost power just work with only kids? Because kids are pure of heart and full of whimsy? Or can it be like anything pure of heart and full of whimsy? Does it even have to have whimsy in its heart to begin with? Asked William to himself. And 2, he was like, I see this child come to Freddy Fazbear's a lot. Before closing down. And then when it reopened, he was watching. He's like, So, her dog goes missing. This poor little girl. She's like, my dog! What the fuck? Her dog's gone! And then William Afton approaches her in his spring bodysuit. He's like,
Oh, hi. Are you looking for a lost puppy? I think I found one out back. Do you want... Here, come with me. I'll go show you and you can tell me if this is your puppy.
and she's like, oh, gee, thanks, mister! Everyone's gotta stop trusting their kid with this guy, I swear. So, yeah, that's what his intention was with the dog. That's why he also killed the dog. But yeah, this is fucked up. Crazy guy. What a guy, right? Anyway, he gets arrested. He gets let out. Let's go back though to Germa Fitzgerald though. Let's go back because at least we know the context of why the robots were acting funny now. Because the robots were the dead kids getting used to their new robot bodies. And they're like, what the fuck? What the? So, they're like, All we remember is that an adult did this to us. So, all adults are bad, is what they say to themselves in their head. And then, remember how Germa, he got put off of the night shift? Remember how his boss was like, hey, by the way, you gotta do a closer and an opener? Yeah, make sure, by the way, because, the robots, they're acting funny. So, put yourself between the robots. It's not like the robots will attack you or anything. The robots attacked Germa Fitzgerald. And, oh my god, would you believe it? That's the bite of 87! Confetti everywhere. Confetti party poppers. Just, we did it, people. Bite of 87! Yay! His frontal lobe gets chomped and he's still alive. He's still alive, but yeah, no, he's definitely not living good. He's not living good. He can't make any, crazy decisions anymore. He can't control his impulse control anymore. He has no control over that. All of his impulses, he's unable to fix any of that. Was that the whole of 87? Yeah, but the hole is in his head. Oh, guys, quick, pop quiz. Who do you think did the bite of 87? Write your answers down now. Anyway, so, yeah, all those kids are also traumatized because they just watched a man lose his head. Holy shit. So, Freddy's closes down again. This place closes down majority of the game series. Again, insane PR, insane legal team. They're able to just keep it going. Alexa, pull up that Markiplier image. Alexa, Mecha player. So, Freddy's is closed again. Until 6 years later, baby. Let's go. We're in the 90s. We're cool. We're short on budget. But, you know, Harry Emily, goddamn, does he love robots? And does he love pizza? Let's open up another Freddy Fazbear Pizza. Low budget, nothing crazy. You know, the reboot took a lot of money. We didn't make any of that money back because, you know, 5 kids died in the span of a week. So we got really ring in the budget. So instead he's like, okay, small. Let's go back to our roots. Humble. Just Freddy Fazbear, Bonnie the Bunny, Chica the Chicken, and Foxy the Pirate. We don't need anybody else. Nothing special, you know. And also at this point, he's like kind of suspecting. He's like, also, I think my daughter is that puppet robot, and I gotta like go to therapy or something. I gotta figure that out. I gotta process that trauma too. But you know, fucking love pizza. So he opens up another one. And then we play as this cool kind of stinky guy. And remember, he smells bad. That's really important to the story. It's oddly important that he stinks. This guy reeks. And his name is Mike Schmidt. Ah, what a guy. What a dude. What a boy. And would you believe it? He's the last surviving child of William Afton, Michael Afton, who, you know, he's undergone a name change. You know, it could be either because his mom, Clara, divorced William and then just went back to her last name. Or, you know, it could have been from the whole, like, getting convicted of killing 5 kids and going to jail. And, like, everybody knows. So, you know, it could have been that. It could have been like, oh, my dad murdered kids. Hey, wait a minute. Whatever happened to my sister? So, yeah, he changes his name. He's like, all right. I'm Mike Schmidt now. No one will ever know I'm related to this man. And he's like, alright, I am curious though. My dad did some shit. So I gotta get in contact with somebody who knows my dad. Because I haven't seen him. Guy just disappeared. He got arrested, disappeared. He hasn't talked to me since 1983. So who knows what's going on with my dad, says Mike. And he's like, okay, alright. Yeah. I'm gonna start just working at Freddy Fazbear. What could go wrong? Well, those funny little robots, they sure get quirky at night. And by quirky, I mean they see an adult and they're like, it's on sight, bitch. They see Michael and they're like, hey, you kind of look like that fucker who killed me. I'ma eat you now. And he's like, whoa. That wasn't me. Not me. No. But, like, another thing is, like, you know what's really interesting? Whenever Golden Freddy shows up, and now Golden Freddy, you know little Evan is there. He's in there, he's just like, finally, I get to spook my brother now! And he's so hype. Because he's going in, and he's just like, bah! And then Michael's like, ah! You know, because he's like, oh, how did this fucking get in here? And then he's just seeing, like, it's me, all over the place. And he's like, what does that mean? What is that? Oh, God, oh, my God. And he's, like, crashing out a little bit. But he slowly starts putting together. All the way. He's like, wait a minute. Something's going on here. Something's going on. But yeah, mainly, the most important thing with FNAF 1. By the way, this is the FNAF 1 game. 1993 FNAF 1 game. Yeah. So, you know, Mike finishes up his week of work and he's like, wow, that was crazy. Huh. That was whack. Well, better keep looking for my dad. Nothing else important here, right? Wrong! Knock, knock, knock. Who's at the door? William Afton, and he's here to ruin more kids' days by breaking into the Freddy Fazbear location. And he just starts taking apart the robots. He just starts ripping them apart. All these kids that he killed that got into the robots and now the robots are alive, he's just like, hey, I'm here to test the bounds of science. I'm gonna rip these robots the fuck apart. And people are like, oh, he did it for fear. No. He was taking those robot parts because he's like, I want to remake that circus line again. Bro, to make more clowns. He was desperate for more clowns. So he starts tearing them apart, limb by limb. It's gory. It's fucked up. Like, fucking, at some point, Foxy's like, yay, I get to run and go fast, because that's the only thing he gets to do. That's his one thing, and we let him have it. And then he runs out, and then he sees fucking the dismembered bodies of Chica and Freddy, and Bonnie's like, that's gore of my friends! And then he gets broken apart, and all the ghosts are like, what the fuck? And so, you know, William Afton, every night, he's taking some robot parts, he's going back to his sister location. He's going back and he's shoving them in to the circus robots, because he's like, alright, robot ghost power is the new age. And he just, at this point, I think he's just addicted to torturing kids. Because he's like, yeah, he also implements in that place, mind you, electric shock torture to these robots, which is like, dude, come on. That's too much. But yeah, but one point is really interesting. Because you would think the ghosts are very bound to their robot parts. And it's not like super explained, and it's definitely like really confusing, but so is the rest of this fucking franchise. At some point, he comes back and he's like, I'm just here to like fucking piss on this. Because you know what? Also, fuck Henry Emily. Fuck that guy. Hate him. He broke my heart and I'm here to break his business. But the ghost kids are like, hey, together, we're FNAF. And starts spooking the shit out of him. And he's like, ah! And then he looks around and he's like, what can I do? What can I do? And then he runs in and then he jumps into the Spring Bonnie suit. Because he's like, ha! These kids are going to be too scared of me in Spring Bonnie. There's nothing that could go wrong. The spring locks never fail. It's the safest suit ever. Except it's not. And he gets spring locked and he dies because there's a little tiny, tiny drip of water. Just the smallest little drip of water. And he perishes. He dies. He is no more. Except not, because do you guys remember the rules? Die in the robot, become the robot. That's right. And so now, William Afton, no more. Now he's like, I gotta have a cool name. That cool name? Springtrap. Yeah, oh yeah, dude, that's such a cool name. He has a lot of time to think about his name, mind you. Because, like, he just kind of dies in this suit. And at some point, Henry Emily's like, well, I'm not gonna fuck with that. He just, like, cements him behind a wall. He just plasters him in there. And he's like, okay, rot in here for the rest of the time until this building gets demolished. And then you'll be crumbled to dust, asshole. And he spits on him. He's like, hate you. And he just locks him in there. And so William Afton is sitting there, alive, trapped in his immortality, in a fucking bunny fursuit. And he's like, I gotta come up with a really good name when I get out of here. I gotta scare the shit out of them when I get out of here. And you're like, okay, yeah, alright. So, the game's gotta be done now, right? The timeline's gotta be over, because William Afton's, like, imprisoned in both immortality and a build. Like, he ain't getting out. Who's ever gotten out of cement before, huh? Well, okay, no, because there's still so much left, because, you know, now we have all those ghost kids who, you know, they spooked him and that was cool, and they kind of got their revenge, but they're still pissed. And also, they're mostly still stuck in those goddamn circus robots. And again, they're pissed. And now they gotta hang out with Circus Baby, who's the guy who killed them's daughter? What the fuck? So they hang out with her. And now we're in sister location, and we cut back to Michael. We cut back to Michael, and he's like, you know what? I had a good time working at Freddy Fazbear. I don't want to be unemployed anymore. Maybe I should get the job that, work at the place where my dad built all those robots. I'm sure there's something that's gonna make sense out of all this terrible shit that's gone on with me. And so he picks up a job at, God, I hate this name, Circus Babies Entertainment and Rental. Real mouthful of a name, you know? And he's like, alright, I'm gonna work here. And mainly, the most important part of this, and also, this is like, debatable where it is. It's after 1993, but before 2023, so you pick where it is. I don't know, it's somewhere in there. I like to pretend it was in the year 2000. Oh wait, actually, I have to put up I love this guy. Where is he? Oh my god, no, where is he? No, bring out my guy. Bring out my boy. There he is. I love this guy. He's a great guy. Everyone loves him. Every day when he's going to work, all his neighbors come out and cheer for him because they love their good neighbor, Mike. Mike Schmidt / Afton. What a guy. What a guy. So yeah, anyway, they're like, he picks up a place, and then while he's working at Circus Baby's place, Circus Baby Castle, whatever, he starts getting all the lore from Circus Baby. She's like, yeah, I used to be a child. I used to be a child named Elizabeth, your sister. And he's like, oh, so your dad killed many kids. And he's like, and then she's like, but also, I'm your sister and I love a good prank. Everyone in this family loves a good prank. And she's like, you know how I'm gonna prank my brother? I'm like, okay, hey, this is Circus Baby talking. She's like, hey bro, go stand right over there on that X. And then, you know, Michael, he's like, I love walking. Hell yeah. Stands on the X and he's like, what's this room? Why are there so many parts to robots on the ground? And she's like, oh, it's the scooping room where they scoop you, dummy. And then she scoops out his insides. So all the little robots, because now all the other circus robots, they're like, we don't want to be a circus act anymore. We're going to combine into one hive mind. They bring baby along. So the OG 4 murdered kids of Bonnie, Freddy, Chica, Foxy became one conglomerate named Ennard. And also Baby's in there. Baby's part of Ennard. And they then possess Michael's body. Very funny. Because again, remember when I told you how all his neighbors like cheer for him whenever he goes to work? He starts getting like really sick and ugly looking, and they no longer cheer. They no longer cheer. But nobody does anything. Nobody calls like an ambulance. They just hide. They hide away from him, which is hilarious. It's so funny. It's the best part of this whole franchise. But he starts rotting in real time, and then he becomes the real purple guy, and he's extra stinky. And he's like straight up just not even alive at this point. He's a rotted corpse. And at one point, even Ennard, even these robots are like, we can't hang out here. This is gross. This is straight nasty, bro. This is straight nasty. I can't do this. So they all leave and go into the sewer. And then Michael's like, bleh.
Ugh.
And he's just standing there and he's like, holy shit. What was that all about? I'm ugly now. So he lives and now he's extra stinky and like essentially a corpse. But before we get into Five Nights at Freddy's 3, which is the next game in the timeline, I gotta mention, at some point between this time, while they're all in the sewer, Elizabeth gets kicked out of the Dead Kids crew. She gets kicked out of Ennard. They remove her. They kick her out. They kick her out of the hive mind. Which, fucking hilarious, petty, embarrassing. I could not show my robot face anywhere if that were me. If I got kicked out of the robot hive mind, and like, they were like, you can't sit with us because your dad killed us. And like, you know, not to say that the Dead Kids were in the wrong, because no. Her dad killed them, and she's still a daddy's girl. She's still like, my daddy made Circus Baby for me, and I was meant to be Circus Baby, and I'm the most loved out of all of them. And then they're sitting here like, bitch, he shocked you too. He tortured you to what? Get out of here. Get out. So they kick her out. Hilarious. Imagine getting kicked out of a hive mind. That's crazy. I know. Embarrassing. Honestly, embarrassing. So yeah, you know, we've had a pretty consistent timetable of, you know, the 70s to the 80s to the 90s, you know, what could be next? 2023, baby! Big jump! Big jump! Nothing fucking happens! Nothing, just big jump. Oh wait, hold on. Sorry, I have an important Okay, sweet. Sorry. Anyway. So, big jump. We're into 2023, which, alright, side note, I love that the Five Nights at Freddy's real life movie came out in 2023 as well. I don't know, something special about that, you know? Because now we got Five Nights at Freddy's 3, baby! What are we gonna do now with this IP? Says William Afton. Or no, sorry, William Afton's fucking fucked off and behind concrete. He ain't getting out of that concrete. No one can get out of concrete. But Henry Emily, he's a free man. A free man with an IP that can't die. So he's like, oh man, I'm just gonna let some asshole kid take my IP for right now and just do whatever he wants because my daughter's dead. Every time I open up a pizza place, it closed down. I don't know what to do. He's sad. He's a sad old man. So he just lets anybody fucking do anything with his IP at this point. And some like bro guy is like, you know what'd be really good? Let's make a haunted house, dude. Cause again, it's 2023. By this point, all this shit happened like 90s, 80s, 70s. This is a scary, spooky old folktale at this point. Remember, it's like the rumors of like, don't call Chuck E. Cheese at 3 a.m. The ghost is gonna get you. It's like that. So they're like, let's market on this. Let's make it scary. No, we're no longer a children's franchise. We're scary now. And you'll never guess who wants to work at this new establishment. No one other than our boy Mike. Because he's like, hey, I already look like a scare actor. Look at me. I'm a walking corpse, baby. What can I do? And the guy who was hiring him was like, oh, dude, you smell rank as shit. Hell yeah, you're in. Hell yeah, go sit in that corner. Make sure you don't put the fan on you. I want you cooking in here. I want the room to get to like 103 Fahrenheit and just unbearable. So everyone who walks past you scares themselves shitless. And Mike's like, I don't even think I have a nervous system anymore, bro. Sure. So, alright. But at this point, Mike already kind of knows the lore. He kind of knows everything that's going on. And he's like, alright, I have one mission in mind when he took up this job. And it's to set the soul of his brother free. We don't super know when this happens, but I feel like it's most fitting for Five Nights at Freddy's 3 for this to happen. Because, like, this is when we get all the minigames to do this. And this game can only give us content or context for anything through minigames or books. So, you know what? We go with what we can. So, in Five Nights at Freddy's 3, we get a shit ton of minigames, as we do. And it's like, when you get all 5 minigames with the correct ending, you get the final minigame, the happiest day. And it is Crying Child, Evan, getting the birthday party he wanted. Just a big cake and a bunch of friends. That's all he wanted, and he never got that. And I think, storytelling-wise, it's more fitting for his brother to be the one to enact the ritual to make his brother be able to pass on. So that was his only goal when he took up the job, because he's like, you know, they gotta have that Golden Freddy costume. Haven't seen it in fucking years. They gotta have it, right? And they did. So he's like, swag, awesome. However, two things. One, Cassidy living her best life now. Oh, he's gone. That little guy who's crying all the time. Whew, finally, silence. But two, where's everyone else? She just is alone now. That sucks. All right, moving on. Well, Mike's working this great old job. At some point, Big Bro Boss is like, hey, dude, sad, dude. Yeah, we knocked down a wall in a building because concrete's kind of weak. There was, like, nothing holding it up. We just knocked a hole in there, and you'll never guess what we found. This rank-ass, nasty rabbit costume. So we're gonna, like, just put it up there, you know, put it on display. And then Mike's like, is that my papa? Is that my papa? Papa? Is that you? And he's like, well, fuck. Now I gotta kill my dad. Because, you know, that's the only solution, really, at this point. At this point, killing your dad really is the only solution. So he's like, okay. He smokes his little cigarette. Doesn't have any effect because he's a walking corpse. So he's like, I'm burning this place to the ground. And his last day of working, he lights the place on fire. Because he's like, yeah, my dad can't escape fire. He can escape concrete, but he can't escape fire. William Afton escaped the fire. William Afton escaped the fire, and then he got out. And so he came back. Oh boy, does he do that. Nothing can hold him down. He's always coming back, baby. He's like, you ready for the remake? As he runs off into the distance to plan another murder spree. And now Mike's like, son of a bitch, what am I gonna do? And, whoa, what would you know? Blows by a little piece of paper. Help wanted article on this newspaper. And he's like, whoa, except it's 2023. So more likely he went on like Indeed.com and was like, another Fazbear job opened up. But it's okay, this game was made before we knew what 2023 was gonna be like. So a newspaper blows by and he's like, oh, a job. So he sees this new, how many new Freddy Fazbears are we on now? The newest Freddy Faz establishment, where he gets to be the acting manager. He gets to be the top dog. He gets to make this whole pizzeria. That's right, baby. The best game in this OG series, Pizzeria Sim. It's the only fun one. So he's like, hell yeah, I'm gonna be a manager. I'm gonna be in a managerial position. And like maybe I'll find my dad that way to kill him finally. And then, he's in his interview, and then he sees his big boss. This big boss looks kind of familiar, but it's been way too long for him to even recognize him, but he even kind of sounds familiar, and he's like,
Oh, alright, Mr. Walking Corpse. You're gonna run this pizza joint, but, all I ask, with all this money I'm giving you, is if you just see an animatronic out back, you know how people just dump robots in the back of an establishment nowadays. It's 2023 after all, and it's a very common occurrence post-pandemic. All I ask is you bring it inside the restaurant. You know the saying, if you're cold, they're cold. Let 'em in.
and Mike's like, cool, yeah, that's not difficult at all. And he's bringing all these robots. He brings in all of them, and then at some point he's like putting together amazing. He's like, damn, this is like never ending. Like I'm just causing these robots to kind of go in an endless circle, a labyrinth almost. And he gets a call, and then it's revealed that Mike's current boss is Henry Emily. That's right, baby. Our bear is back. Our bear is back, and he's like, I'm tired of living in this hell. I can't do this anymore.
William, I said we were over, and I meant it, and now I'm ending it for all of us.
And then he gives the best monologue in like a very long time, without a lot of monologues ever topping it. I can't even do it justice. I'm not even gonna try and voice act it because I can't even do it justice. Fire monologue, dissing William, dissing his daughter, and being like, hey Elizabeth, shut up! And then being like, dead children, let go. Don't worry, we will all be dead. Also, the puppet is there. I kind of brushed along this. Puppet also gets, like, she's just been out in the wild. She also got kind of abandoned. Her and Golden Freddy. Yeah. Her and Golden Freddy, just kind of forgotten about for a very long time. They're back to join in. Well, no, just the puppet. Golden Freddy is still, like, fucked off somewhere else. But Charlotte gets to be put to rest, and that's pretty cool. And then Henry's like, we're all going down together, baby. We're all going down together. You, me, your son, your daughter, my daughter, these 4 other kids. And before he finishes his phone call, he makes sure William can hear this and says the most crazy line. Oh, I gotta find it. Where he's like, The darkest pits of hell have opened to swallow you whole. So don't leave the devil waiting, old friend. Holy shit! My ex said that to me? I'm dead on the spot, dog! What? So yeah, and then Mike's like, I can't live on being a walking corpse. We just gotta end it. So they all burn down in the fire of the pizzeria together. And it's a sweet, bittersweet ending, right? Doomed Yowie, even more doomed, right? Wrong! One more game imported to the timeline! Five Nights at Freddy's 7! Ultimate Custom Night! Where you get to play as William Afton in hell! You get to play... You get to go to hell with William Afton, where you are just forever being jump scared. That's the game! You just get a jump scare after jump scare, baby! Cause remember Golden Freddy? That bitch got forgotten! And she's like, I'm going to torture this man for the rest of eternity. And at some point, there's another ghost that's just like, hey, you can let go. And she's like, no! How dare you? And then she just tortures him more. And that's the end of Five Nights at Freddy's. You know, OG plot. And then, you know, and then Edwin came over, and then he's just like, my name is Edwin. I built the mimic. It was difficult to put the pieces together. And he's like, nothing could go wrong from doing this. And then his son and wife dies. But yeah, you know, how many kids is that at that point? It's not even William's fault for those. But yeah, and that was the whole story of Five Nights at Freddy's original series. Are you taking questions? Yes, that is an important part of history is, you know, always ask questions. You never know. You never know what, you know, you gotta ask, you gotta know. Bravo, wonderful lesson. Thank you. I hope you took notes. There's gonna be a quiz on this next class too. Or, sorry, club. It's a club after all. This is all optional. Was FNAF World covered in this timeline? I came in a little late. No, not exactly. It is important. However, the main importance is just knowing that Henry Emily is like losing it, and he's like, I gotta fucking kill my ex. I gotta kill my ex, and he's like, my daughter. He's sad. Henry Emily's like kind of the most important part in FNAF World, and really where he got mainly established. But I didn't really cover FNAF World because it's also really hard to fit into a cohesive timeline because FNAF World is a silly fun time. It's just a silly fun time. But no one questions history. Got a point there. It is all facts that I said, especially the part, especially when I had the dramatic reading of a fanfiction in there that I wrote. I don't even know what happened, dog. When I was writing my notes, at some point I like blacked out, and then I like looked back at my screen. And I was like, where'd this breakup come in? Where'd this doomed Yowie come in? What? Will there be a test about this? Yes! Next club meeting! There will be a test! Next club meeting will go over security breach. Okay, what's your opinion on Evan versus David? I've seen way more evidence for David. Dog? Have you done the fucking decoding message over on, like, for the handbook? It feels better for it to be Evan, especially since David gets used as a name later on. It gets used as a name later on in the series with fucking Edwin and shit. It wouldn't be a good idea it would actually be a very bad idea for them to just retake a name and slap it on to another dead kid. So I subscribe to the Evan theory. I think too, like, with how the original game, or the original handbook survival guide decoder shit came out, Evan fits more. David being a name used later also kind of confirms it. That's my answer. How many retcons were in this timeline? So fucking many. Cause here's the thing. Here's kind of the thing with a series coming out. Because it is actively coming out, the story is actively developing. So like the first Five Nights at Freddy's game, fucking people were like, oh, this is based off like a real life event, not that. And then like the next game came out and they're like, oh, haha, psych, never mind. That was just a theory. What? Retcons happen every new game drop. Which is why I was like, I'm not mentioning the new games. Cause after Pizzeria Sin happens and we have Ultimate Custom Night, they retcon William in Hell. Cause now, and then they retcon that retcon, mind you. Cause now they're like, oh yeah, William, oh yeah, he went to hell. Actually, William got uploaded to the internet and now he is the William Afton virus. He's the purple guy virus. And he takes over your brain when you put on the VR headset. And now you are possessed by William Afton. Ooh, spooky. And then he possesses Vanessa. And then Vanessa is possessed by the William Afton virus because she was QA testing a Freddy Fazbear game because now they make video games. And the whole series is retcon, except no, it's not. It really did happen, but no, it didn't. But yes, it did. And then that's retconned, and there is no real William Afton virus because it's actually the first mimic. That's right, there's two mimics now. There's the Mimic 1 and the Mimic 2. So yeah, there's a lot of retcons. Is William Afton a digital lich glitch now? I don't know. Because in Secret of the Mimic, we have Mimic 1 that gets uploaded to, oh my god. We get Mimic 1 that gets uploaded to be a supercomputer, and then we have Mimic 2, which is trying to fucking stab you because Edwin was abusing his robot, so he learned to mimic abuse. So like, I don't know, man. And then, you know, the mimic gets out, and then in Security Breach, the DLC, we see this fucking helpy AI, which we are led to believe is the William Afton virus, but now we're thinking, oh no, actually that was Mimic 1, because she's on the internet now. She's surfing the fucking web. She's on Twitter all day and night. And so now she's also in your brain, and she's the William Afton virus, because she's mimicking William Afton. Oh my god. But yeah, so Security Breach really fucked up the timeline. Dude, it was already fucked up. This is a timeline a lot of FNAF fans disagree with, mind you. It's just a timeline that makes the story cohesive, because now we have a compelling story of a man who wanted to bring joy to children, driven crazy by the faults of his own creations, and started being the exact opposite of what he wanted. It's the downfall of a man with a good intention to now be nothing of once he once was. It's good. It's a good, sad story. Yeah, it still doesn't make sense, but at least it's a little better than what a lot of people want you to think. I can't wait for FNAF 25 where we explore the mirror reality. Actually, I wrote FNAF 27. 27 FNAF is when Henry Emily comes back from the dead, and now he's Freddy Fazbear again, and Freddy Fazbear goes and murders Springtrap in a dead Yowie corpse fight of the death. But okay, alright. I gotta go. We finished our school lesson. We now know the history of FNAF. Club's gotta end soon. I hear the brrr. Oh my god, do you hear the bell? Brrr. I hear the bell. Brrr. We gotta go, baby. We gotta go. The next class is until, the morning. But I figure I'd send you guys over there so you know what to be excited for. Thank you guys so much for joining me on this very cohesive and totally made sense, and in no way did I insert Yowie? What? That's crazy. Doomed Yowie? Doomed old man Yowie? In my Cerenity stream? Psh, it never happened. It never happened. But thank you so much for joining me. I hope you have a good rest of your night or day, whatever time zone it is for you. I will talk to you all next